I'm Cameron, supervisor here at Holiday World and Splash Safari, with your next set of training. This training portion will be the dispatch training portion, where a few of you are eligible to do this. Now, first-year employees are not allowed to participate in the dispatch area without prior experience. In order to be eligible, you must have worked at Holiday World for 1 year and be over the age of 18 to work in dispatch. There are many facets of the dispatch realm that we'll be talking about here today. First one that we'll talk about, that there is 2 stations. I'm currently sitting at dispatch station 1, which is the one closest to the door. Then there's one to my right called dispatch station 2. That's going to be the one the farther to the right that we will only use if we have 2 dispatchers. We will primarily use station 1 because it has all the tools that we need to complete our job effectively. What each station has, I'll go ahead and flip this around to show you. The station is equipped with a base radio. This radio has multiple channels. In order to change the channels, because I currently have it on the sheriff station, you'll click this P4 button down here that looks like it's worn off. You'll go over to Zone 2, which is public safety. That's the channel that we'll primarily operate on for this. In order to get to our station 2.2, you'll use this. This goes up and down. 2.2, right there, security. This is our primary channel that we'll operate on. Sometimes, in dispatch, we will answer foods calls from our phone system over here. Phones does not have their own dispatching center at the time of this video being made. So in order to dispatch out foods calls, you'll press this button again, and they're on channel 6. So we'll go all the way over here and make sure that you get onto the foods channel. We'll talk about how to properly dispatch these units as we go forth in our training. Get back to... Alright, so the system that we primarily use here in dispatch is called Case Manager. Most of you will be receiving your passwords and usernames at the start of the season. I'm going to go ahead and point you down so I can log you in to show you what we're doing here. This is how the main screen of Case Manager will look. I'll make it go wide here for a second so you can see it. This is the primary area we'll be using. This is the security cases area. Whenever we get a call from the phone and we go 5353, as you read in your training, we'll answer the phone. We will always be calm and nice in recording the information. If it's a 5353 number, which the phone will sound like this. Well, that's not right. Ignore that. That'll be fixed prior to the season. Normally, it'll just be a regular phone call. Like, something like that. You'll pick up the phone and you'll go, Holiday World Operations Helpline, this is Cameron, how may I help you? But you'll say your name instead of Cameron, obviously. You'll take down the information. Sometimes it will be a food stand wanting to contact their manager. How we do that is we'll click on this miscellaneous call, and if you just click the C button down here, like this, the whole date will pop up in the area. You'll get the name of the caller, so we'll say Seth called us this time. His location is, you have a drop down menu here, but if you type in the first letter, I will say he was calling from the lemon shake-up stand. Always get the location, because at the end of the day, we collect these reports and send them off to the directors of the departments that we help. So that would be like cleaning, food services, things of that nature. Seth needs foods management. So we'll say foods management needed. And most of the time, I don't go with anything that says, put anything in the notes like for this, unless it's something like rather specific. So you just fill out this information so they know how many calls we're getting throughout the day. It's important to do this so they know what kind of call log we have here in dispatch, so they know that we are vital to the operation. If you have a medical case or a security case that gets into you, which would be lost parents, a theft call, or anything like that, you'll go here. And once again, you'll press the C button to get the time and date. You'll enter call received by. Most of the time, you'll receive your calls by phone. Sometimes there may be a security personnel in the field that will tell you what's happening out there, and you'll put radio. But for here, we're going to use phone. Right here, we're just going to use the training option if there is one. There is no training option. Okay. We will use... We'll use investigation. That's rather simple. This investigation is going to happen at Plymouth Rock. Okay? And if you have a specific location, like, we'll say, the cashier stand, this is where you'd put it. And this is very important. Some of our cases get pulled up at the end of the year, and we need to have as much information as possible. So we'll put the dispatch at time, and then we'll wait for a unit to arrive on scene. When that happens, we'll press C again. And then when they're off scene, we'll click C again. In the notes, you'll fill out 209 responded to the case. So you'll put that, 209 responded, what time he arrived, and why he's there, and what he's talking about. And then we'd go up here. Since he's the responding unit, if it's a theft call, we're going to want to make sure that we have all units attached, okay? Lost parents, we won't attach people to the case, but other than that, we'll attach people so they can fill out reports so we can have everything. Every case you do on Case Manager needs to be closed with a disposition. Do not close a case without a disposition. So, on an investigation, sometimes we'll have follow-up needed, or we'll put under investigation. And we'll click save. I won't click save now because we're in the off season and that would just clog up our system. But you'll fill out all this necessary information here, and that will help us down the road. Okay? Perfect. Another thing we do in dispatch is send out daily text. So one of the texts we send out will be the attendance, which automatically sends now, so we don't have to do that. Excuse me. We'll have to send out weather updates. There we go. Here's a prime example. You go here, click weather, go here, and we have these little things down here. And they will go out every time we go on a lightning level or a wind level. And you'll have to put dispatch as the sender down here. Okay? We'll have to send out daily ambassadors. So what else you'll do there is you'll go here, go to full-time KDC, clear all this out, and you'll put ambassadors for the day. You'll put their first name and last initial. So like if we were doing John Atkins, we'd go John A 200. Okay. After that, we will do our incident commanders for today. So you just put IC, and if John Atkins is going to be in that day, he's always your incident commander. So we'll just go ahead and put John A again. Same thing goes with weather IC. You'll have to put that in this text as well. Don't worry, we'll go over this more in detail as we go throughout the PowerPoint. It is our responsibility to keep up with this. And that is the basics of Case Manager. Another thing we are in charge of here in Dispatch is playing the lightning level alerts to the park. So we'll go to this little icon right here, Cisco Jabber. And your password for everything is Dispatch, I do believe. Let's make sure here. Now that we got it open, we'll go all the way down here. And here's where our weather alerts are. Here, if we're going on a lightning level 4, we'll click call this button, and the number is disconnected at this moment because it's not set up because we're still in the off season. So what will happen here is that you'll click call that level, and then you'll enter the passcode, which is in the handbook over here to your left. You go over here. I think we have a general code now, which is 1208. I believe that is our password now, but if it, make sure you cross-reference with the dispatch training PowerPoint. That's another responsibility here in dispatch. Another thing that we are in charge of is monitoring the weather outside. This is what we have. It's a system called Weather Sentry. We have a circle that goes 30-mile radius outside the park, a 10-mile radius, and a 5-mile radius. This thing will create a loud siren noise when there's lightning within a certain amount of the area of the park. It's your job as the dispatcher to alert the weather IC of the weather conditions. So you will know from the beginning of the day who's going to be your weather IC, and you'll switch over to their main channel. Most of the time, it'll either be on the security channel or the rides channel will be your weather ICs. When they ask for it, once they check the weather for themselves, they'll call you back and ask for a tone on channel 16. So channel 16, go ahead and get back over here to channel 2 here. There we go. Channel 16 is the emergency dispatch. On this channel, you will cause the tone. This is what we have as our emergency tone box. Make sure that the blue light is illuminated, and you can switch that by this right here. We don't really use the white one, so the light should always be blue. When they ask for the tone, you'll go ahead and press it, hold it for about 3 seconds, and then they will commence their emergency broadcast of the weather conditions. Also in security, at the end of the day, we are responsible for filling out the dispatch daily report. Here's an example of the dispatch daily report from 9/29/19. At the top, we will put how many calls were made for each department. So if EMTs had 1 medical call on this day, and security had 3 security calls. If we have police, fire, EMS come on scene, we'll put the case number here, which you can find in Case Manager. You'll put your unit type, which, let's say it was fire in this case. They came on grounds at noon and left at 12:30. And then there will be comments in the section down below. If we have wind levels, you'll put it here. Wind level, wind or lightning level, so you'll go LL1 here for lightning level 1. Your authority will be the radio number of the weather IC, so 200, time on noon, off 12:30. And then in these boxes, you'll show what you did. If you played the announcement over the speaker, you'll write yes. If the radio page was sent, you'll type yes. Phone tree this year, according to Casey, prior to this whole quarantine thing, said that the phone tree will not be used this year, so this will be removed. And then you are responsible for sending out the text on Case Manager as previously discussed in this video. During the course of the day, you are responsible for typing in the temperature and the percentage of cloud cover throughout the day. So on this day, we had 17% cloud cover and 89 degrees at 12 p.m. This is important that you have this written down. Morning gates. The supervisor of patrol will be in charge of gates in the morning. So they will radio to you every time they get a section roped off, as you see here. Clearing times, go through here, and you'll write down who all's cleared what at what times. Then down here you'll put down everyone that was in the park that day working. As you see, we have Tyler Meyer was here from 0800 to 1600. Herb was here for parking, and so on and so forth. It lets us know what employees we had here. Then most days you'll put your EMTs here. I don't understand why this is blacked out, but that's what you'll do. And then you'll put your closer and night shift guys. And then from Case Manager, this is hard to show in a video, so once you get here on on site. We'll show you how to do this part. But you'll export the cases from Case Manager, and you'll put them in here. You'll put the first aid cases up here and the security cases up here. We will then email this to the from dispatch's email to the dispatch daily group. Dispatch daily report. You see, this is a group that pops up right here, and that has everyone on it. And that's everyone that'll get it. Right there. This has been the dispatch training video. I hope you enjoyed it. Pay attention to the remaining parts of the PowerPoint, and let's have a great season.